So I was like friends with you, Ria.
Well, me and you haven't really had any kind of relationship. And you told me that you had an agreement with Ria that you two would flirt together, but you wouldn't ever catch feelings. What's worse, dealing with Ria and her freaks or Peach? Oh, I'm stun-locked. Yeah, you did go really hard on me, Psyclone, didn't you? And you were also like in her DMs the entire time.
I never went to in her DMs and I was like, oh, Crisp said this about you. Oh, look at Crisp saying this. That never happened.
You think that when I talk, the words that come out my mouth are irrational and make no sense and are not grounded in reality. Therefore, you do not have the ability to see that what I am saying is connected to reality, right?
Does this feel like a conversation to you right now? Or are you just like rambling?
No,
right?
No, it does not feel like a
Nope,
conversation.
that's not what I
Are you
said.
saying, yes, it fucking was, you drug addict loser. Offering to leak information after claiming that you have...
No, this is me offering to
you
like
claiming that you have special knowledge of all the things that went on because you've been talking to all the people involved and that you have the authoritative version of what went fucking down. And part of you telling that little story is you coming out with the totally deranged bullshit that Crisp surely should not have any kind of sense of having a connection with these people, right? You saying that like, oh, Crisp is just a schizophrenic. He's actually hallucinating all of this shit that he thinks he's had with Ria. And it's fine to say that, like, from her side, like, none of it's real because she's a turbo e-whore, and that's fine if that's what the defense is going to be. Right? I actually don't have a problem with that.
That's literally what I believe.
I didn't ask you to come in here. I'm not begging you to say.
I just tried to.
Chill, whoa! Okay, well, before we get into the YouTube video, I thought I should just give you guys a rundown on Psyclone's DMs that he was sending me and maybe a bit of more background on the story. Now, one key point that I'll get into before we scroll through these DMs is that after this video, the next day, in a desperate bid to defend himself after me and Dung Devil like tore him apart, we were in a VC with maybe 20 people, but in a desperate bid to defend himself and being completely unable to show any evidence of anyone else actually talking about Ninu, as well as his own evidence implicating him on multiple occasions in these DMs, as well as his actions being suspicious, inconsistent, lying, kind of just fully wrong, making it very strange that he would try to implicate other people as opposed to just apologize and move on and operate. Like, very weird that he would operate in this way where it was just obviously never going to work. And to this day, he has still like admitted nothing. He's just been joking about it. And yeah, the following day, he just leaked a whole bunch of Ria's most private information in order to make it look like I was upsetting her, pretty much re-cementing the fact that this dude is just a Discord moderator in order to try to get close to women and act very strange. As well as, it's like worse than this because like the level of like fucked up pressure and suffering and all of that he's doing doesn't just imply that he thinks less of women, but that because he thinks less of women, he's totally okay and even recreationally just trying to mindfuck them so that he can put them in a position where he can get what he wants out of them. But essentially, I'm not saying that Psyclone is after sexual gratification from Ria. I'm just saying that that's all he thinks that she has to offer. So whether or not he's trying to get that for himself or for someone else, who knows? Anyway, so these DMs that are relevant, the ones before this are from a long time ago, are on the 10th of June. Now, this is incredibly important because Psyclone leaked some of these DMs to try to make me look bad. But the timeline of this is super important because this is 2 days before Ria has made any sexual harassment allegations against me. So I didn't know that was about to happen, and I've had her crying in my ear, and I've had her mind-fucking me throughout May, and I've had her crossing massive boundaries with our friendship, and I've had her being talking down to me on it, I've had her being patronizing, I've had Taxi betray me, I've had Ninu ghost me, I've had workmates reach out to me and, you know, ask if I've been trying to kill myself. I've had other people, like mutual friend of Irrelevant, I've had him reach out and ask like, hey, are you crashing out? Like, what's going on? Because that's what Taxi wanted people to think, right? Taxi wanted people to think that it was just as bad as my worst moments of 2024, but I was just doing it in private. That's what Taxi screamed to everyone. Taxi also screamed there was no relationship, there was no relationship, there was no relationship, and that's what Psyclone said as well. And I guess it is also what Ria said, although she backed off on that very quickly. But Psyclone and Taxi didn't. Now, this being on June the 10th, Psyclone, for weeks by this point, has been sitting in on calls with me and Ria. Now, in the same way that I didn't mind him on June 10th, sitting on a call where I vented a bunch of frustration to my friend Dung Devil, who I hadn't seen for a while, and to be like, you know, like, yeah, like this is all going on. And I remember Dung said to me, he's like, well, it seems like you do have real reasons to be upset. And that, you know, was something that I needed to hear, because I was trying so many ways to deal with their problems and to not be upset with it, to, you know, just sit for a moment and think, hey, you are just allowed to know that like this is a real friendship that is like being fucked with. Now Psyclone sat through all of this. He was there way more than everyone else, because he was just kind of following me and Ria around. Very strange man, but it's okay. I had an e-whore girlfriend and I am a streamer, so like I'm perfectly happy to build my community off of dudes who want to simp for my wife. Anyway, so I say to him, don't share that drama around, because I've just vented to him about all of these problems. Oh yeah, don't worry, I won't. It's none of my business. It's a strange response for a man who constantly sits in on all my business. Like the 5-hour conversation that I had with him and Dung and Shellboner and Full of Hell and Richard and all of that. That again is a funny situation where he showed up and multiple people in that room said, hey, Psyclone shouldn't be here for this. He's weird. And I said, it's fine. I'm just wearing my heart on my sleeve and it doesn't matter. I think he interpreted this as that he was in and that I thought he was a friend. I don't think that. I don't care and never did. I mean, why would I? Why would I? What was the connection? So I said to him, you know, ultimately I'm just compartmentalizing and venting through a big mindfuck. But I'm not really planning or trying to make Ria or Taxi not be friends with each other. You know, they just stress me out and I'm going to tank it for my princess, okay? Well, not really for my princess by this point. I had been tanking it for my princess. By this point, I have just very firmly set boundaries in my friendship with Ria, right? Now she can either live up to those, well, she doesn't even have to live up to them. They are like a guiding light. I had set those boundaries for about 2 weeks and she had just shit all over them. But she was starting to get the message that if you do A, then B happens. If you do flirting, I just treat you like I didn't see it, right? And she didn't like it. Now, anyway, ultimately I'm just trying to compartmentalize and venting through the mindfuck, but I'm not really planning on trying to make blah, blah, blah Taxi. So he's like, yeah, I get it. You don't want to come between them. You're all good. You know, you're compartmentalizing. The only thing I want to add to this drama is to encourage everyone to talk it out at some point, but, like, I also don't know if that will solve stuff. Now, this is a crazy thing for this guy to say, when it later on turns out that he is, well, there's a lot of crazy things he says. We'll get to it. Just take note of this. Take note of this funny statement. I've e-dated 3 times throughout the year. I don't know why he tells me these embarrassing things about himself. I try to relate. I'm like, oh, yeah, me too, but it was girls who, like, were in my city, and they pretended like they wanted to date, and then they would just, like, text me for, like, 2 months, and I'll be like, all right, well, bye-bye. Anyway, considering how intertwined it all is, and how I don't want to or feel like it's really my place to derive Taxi and Ria of their friendship, and then I got stunlocked, and I was like, this is so brutal that you told me this. Technically e-dated, but like with girls I'm in e-dates, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, he wants to talk about his bullshit. Anyway, so this is the part that he leaked, where I say, I really don't want to feel emotionally clouded by my frustrations with Taxi and Ria, because a lot of the frustration is because in a bunch of the interactions that I was venting about, I've been taken advantage of, perhaps unintentionally or reactionarily by them. Because I put them on a platform where I'm willing to like admit my faults, and then these people will take a hold of those faults, because it's far more comfortable to give me like a lashing with, when I say to them like, hey, this is a problem and this is a problem, but like, I know I'm not perfect, and they're like, yeah, you're not perfect, you piece of shit. That's way more comfortable for a lot of people. And I started to realize that these fucking losers who I let into my life are 100% like that 100% of the time. They will shut down their brains and stop thinking about things as soon as I give them a modicum of leniency to maybe think that I'm not like completely attacking them and fucking with them, but they would not do the same for me. For them, it seems it is either all one way or all the other. So they either beg for forgiveness and say, I fucked up and I feel so horrible, and they victimize themselves horrendously, or it goes the other way, where they think that, there's no way that Chris can make himself a victim. Time for me to fucking annihilate him. And I don't know why they thought I would be so scared as to never speak out about it. But yeah, I gave them an inch, and it was because they were on a platform of being my friend, and they assumed it was because I have no self-confidence and that they are actually gods or something. I'm not sure. So I've been... Anyway, what I'm basically saying in this message is like, hey, I don't want to come between these two, and part of this is that Ria has been asking me to go to Taxi and give him advice and like help him out, and you know, I've actually like explained this to Psyclone probably, right? Anyway, so I'm like, hey, I've just been, you know, this is 2 days before she claims that I sexually harass her, and I'm frustrated with like her melting down again, and I've just hit this point of being like, okay, Ria, I cannot just coddle you, and I cannot just tell you you're the most wonderful woman. Here's some solutions, and you maybe need to work on it yourself. And so yeah, I'm just literally saying to Psyclone, if I do have to go give Taxi good advice, I need to resolve my feelings. It is frustrating that like I'm being asked to help this man out. So 2 days after this, she calls me a sexual harasser, and then 8 days after this, Psyclone's DMing me, asking me pictures, asking me for details on the lewds that she sent me. I do not respond, except for in the VC, I just say to him, she wasn't wearing pants. I hold back on calling him a dumb name. I immediately message him the next day. Well, technically it's the same day. You can see 12 hours later. I'm like, hey, someone leaked last night's conversation directly to Ninu. To be very clear, I like misspeak here, and like you'll see it later on. This is like the fabrication in that 5 hour. So I'll be like, yeah, we talked about someone. When I say someone leaked last night's conversation to Ninu, the conversation didn't involve us saying that Ninu had been sexually harassing Ria. The conversation involved us saying that there is like a double standard going on. Now, what happens is Psyclone goes to Ria and he's saying Crispy said to everyone, and Crispy's going to tell everybody, and Crispy is definitely using this as his narrative, which is not true. For 6 days, I had not made a narrative. I did not plan on having a narrative. I did not plan on addressing this, right? That whole fucking conversation was about how I didn't want to have a narrative, how I didn't want to go public, how I wanted Ria to settle down, how I wanted to help her out. Now, I get she was very upset, and maybe she wanted to hear bad news, and she wanted to hear that I had a narrative, and she was so ready to hear it. But I also think that this fucking Psyclone guy knew exactly what was going on in our relationship, describes to me exactly how to calm it down, and did not do it. Did not attempt to do it. Lied to me multiple times, lied to her multiple times, and then went public drunkenly goes public, trying to like flail about. It's all because he just thought he had pulled a masterful plan where I was totally into him and thought he was great, and that everyone would think he was awesome for this. But he forgot that I like consider people to be like real human beings, and that if he wants to make me think that he's his friend, he has to do something rather than just sit there staring at me day after day, which he had been doing. And you will see him be like sneakily forward to be like, ooh, trying to get more info, but like, you don't have to give me info, but like if you want to, you know, this fucking bullshit. Anyway, I was very frustrated at the time, and anyway, she's like, please do not put more into my. Do not even mention my name publicly or in the VC ever again. I do not consent to you mentioning my name or talking about me. That's going in here because no, I don't give a fuck. I'm not your pet. I'm allowed to speak on my experiences. Do whatever the fuck I want. Instead of Psyclone just immediately goes into like labeling and naming other people, it's like a little bit different to, I didn't ask who did it. Hypothetically, I'm just like trying to de-stress. That would be the entire premise of the 5 hour phone call that I had with him the day before. Not that I'm trying to go to war or figure out who's on whose side. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Someone just fucked us over. This is going to make building the bridge harder. How do we build the bridge? How do we get her to calm down? Psyclone's brain is not built this way. Psyclone is like, well, let's attack someone. So he starts listing the people in the call. And yeah, and I'm like, maybe the girls just talked about it. Now, I don't believe this. I just believe it's Psyclone the whole time. Part of the reason I believe this is Psyclone is because he actually took quite a long time to reply. What color were the pants? See, he takes like 12 hours or longer to reply. Or is this like fully 24 hours? Someone leaked it, 12. I thought it was like 16 hours. Or maybe I'm reading like 12 there. But I'm very tired. I can't be fucked doing this. Anyway, yeah, Cum Gremlin was there too. So he does these weird things. He starts pointing to everyone else. And then I'm like, yeah, but I think someone was sharing around screenshots of my DMs with Ninu, which are out of context and used to reinforce the lie from earlier. I messaged Ninu, and I was really pissed off, and I handled it really badly. I think literally everything I said to her was the worst way I could have said it. This is true. But like, I was pissed off with Ninu, and then she had just heard that I had said that Ria sexually harassed her, so Ninu was pissed off with me. Ninu handled it a lot better than I did. Kind of. I came in hot, but me coming in hot was just like, you know, you've been a shit friend. Just to be clear, I messaged Ninu to say, hey Ninu, I just saw a bunch of screenshots between me and you that have been sent to people poorly cropped and hyper cropped and like taking me out of context. Just to be clear, in case you didn't understand what those screenshots meant, I was just telling you you've been a shitty friend, and I'm telling you again now that you're a shitty friend. And then she's just like, fuck you, Crisp. By the way, I didn't sexually harass Ria. And I'm like, what the hell was that? Anyway, so after just pointing the finger towards everyone else, again, I have not asked, bro. He then tries to, for no reason at all, he sends me screenshots saying, or he sends me messages saying, seems my only interaction with her was trying to buy DGG merch. So we scroll all the way down, and it's this interaction: Psyclone, search Psyclone to Ninu, and it's cringe. He's buying DGG merch. Now, I hadn't looked at this before because I wasn't asking. I didn't bother looking when he sent this to me, and I haven't bothered looking since. Making this little screenshot now, I was like, what is all this? And I realized he adds in Richard, Girly Ria, Taxi, search Ninu, search Ninu, search Ninu, no results, no results, no results. So he's showing me that he's never talked to Ninu. Now, once again, this doesn't prove anything. You can always edit the name, change the result, or have told them in VC, and I didn't ask. Not to mention, on this, why is Taxi here? Why is he showing me his DMs with Taxi? What the fuck is he doing? Why would he think that the DMs mattered? Because I know that he sits in VCs with her for hours. In fact, He sent me screenshots of Ria talking to Richard. Ria took a screenshot of her DMs with Richard and sent it to Psyclone, who took another screenshot and sent it to me. And then in those, you can see Ria is currently in a call with like a bunch of people, probably, obviously, talking a whole bunch of shit about this. She's in there with Taxi. You know, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. Look, he's on the warpath. Oh, that leads Dolphin or Richard. I'm like, Dolphin doesn't give a fuck, bro. If Dolphin wanted to fuck me over, she would get into the VC and tell everyone I raped her. And then she would start leaking pictures of dicks and saying they're mine. Dolphin would go hard. And it would be fucking awesome. Dolphin doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't enjoy being subtle. She's very intense. It's not Richard, because I've already talked to Richard. You know what kind of response Richard gave? An awesome response. And it does not matter, guys. I do not want anyone to be thinking that this was Richard based on fucking Psyclone's bullshit or some half-cropped 480p dog shit DM of poor Richard having to sit there with Ria, who was probably screaming at him, saying, "Did he talk down about me? Tell me he talked down about me. Tell it to me, Richard. Fucking tell me." Richard had no clue at how much these people were looking to be pissed off and how much the people that were on his side, like Psyclone, pretending, because Psyclone very adequately describes Richard's goals and claims that they are Psyclone's goals, but they are not Psyclone's goals. Obviously not Psyclone's goals, as you will see in the video that I am about to release. So that just leaves Richard. Psyclone is kind of like, yeah, my master plan is working out. Okay, so it's basically Richard. It's basically Richard DMing Ria the combo. Ria sent me a screenshot. That's how I know. I'm like, what the fuck? Weird. So weird. Because I don't really lie to people. I'll just like half lie. I'm literally saying to him, like, you are so weird. Are you telling me that like in the 5-hour phone call that you were having, I remember having the thought, like he reveals to me that he was just DMing Ria during my talk with him. He wasn't like listening to what I was saying, obviously. It's like he was half listening and then half telling her half stories. Halfway in, halfway out. Probably half flaccid, half erect. And this is a very, 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 very common thing that he just repeated continuously throughout the whole thing. I'm reluctant to leak. That's not something I want to be known for doing, and I'm trying to remain impartial. Now, don't get it twisted. He was perfectly willing to release DMs about Richard. He was perfectly willing to release DMs about Ninu. He was perfectly willing to release the most personal, insane DMs about Ria. He was also fully willing to, down here, DM anyone about this, because he publicly announced it. Like, I did not ask for you to say this. I do not ask you to be in the call. I do not ask you to continuously do these things. I do not ask you to try to figure out who was the leaker. I'm just like, hey, it's kind of convenient that you're trying to build the bridge. And he has the social awareness to know that I would like for someone to build the bridge. So that's exactly what he keeps telling me he's trying to do, as we will see going forward. Yeah, I've honestly shown you this. So this is almost like a point where like he gets me to, look, okay, let's just read this out. Yeah, I've honestly showed you less DMs than I should have really. I've shown you some, but if I showed you them all, it would be a very clear story to you. Now, this is the way I feel about Richard quite a lot. I don't know how me showing you would help me though, and so on and so forth. Like, it's the same with everyone in that call last night, and I'm very tired. So in that call, I felt like we had talked for 5 hours, and at the end of the call, Richard ended up saying, well, it's still like a he said, she said thing. And I was just too exhausted to go on, and I sort of wish I had litigated it to other people, but it's sort of not fair, and it's too much to ask, and whatever. But I should have litigated it to Dung, or I guess Dung would be the only one who could do it, because he has all the logs, to make it not he said, she said, not to leave people in this vulnerable position. Now, I am giving Psyclone way too much good faith here. He had been hanging out. Well, I'm giving him too much good faith, and I don't realize how far gone he is, because he has seen me and Ria's relationship firsthand. It is insane for him to think that there wouldn't be mixed signals when he's just sat in calls and seen me and her doing boyfriend-girlfriend shit. I straight up cucked this guy, like, incredibly hard. I don't care, bro. It's just a fan. He a fan. But yeah, so at this point, I'm like, you know, fucking the Ninu thing happened. This is fucked up. I should have just shown them some more obvious things. Oh, wait, do I include this here? Sorry. Okay, yeah. I go on to show him her initiating e-sex with me. He hasn't leaked this. You know what he did go and leak? Like, a couple of days after this? This. Which I don't know why. He goes and tries to leak something where I'm just talking about how I don't want to get in the way of Ria and Taxi's friendship. I guess this is to show that I'm a delusional person who thinks that I can get in the way of their friendships, or thinks that they think that I'm trying to get in the way of their friendship, which I think they do openly say that. And now this is the problem with Psyclone and I guess Taxi as well, is that Ria will just be like, yeah, I do think you are jealous of Taxi. Yes, I probably did send some bad messages to Chris, but he tried to rape me or sexually harass me. I'm sorry, chat. I don't mean to overblow it. I don't want you to be disappointed when it turns out she never said I tried to rape her. But for some reason, Psyclone and Taxi are like, well, no, this is completely delusional. This is completely delusional. There's never an e-dating. They were never e-dating. They were never e-dating. They were never e-dating. They never even had a relationship. They never even had a relationship. I have a relationship with Ria, says Psyclone. Show me the proof of that, buddy. Show me the proof. Why isn't Ria bailing Psyclone out right now, is my fucking question. Why isn't Ria saying, here's whoever told me about the Ninu thing? What, out of respect? For what? Ria got sexually harassed, bro. I feel like they should have respect for whoever told her should have enough respect for Ria to be like, yeah, leak it, it was me. You got to wonder why she's not standing up for Psyclone. Maybe she fucking hates him now. I don't know. Maybe it would make him look worse, and she's trying to protect him still because he's fucking weaseled her down and broken her mind. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. So I'm just saying, yeah, it's weighing on me a lot today. I feel very pulled back in by Ria after 4, 5, 6 days of her spurging about me to everybody. It was really weighing on me. I started to feel very, very bad for her. I started to miss our friendship. I think this is the day before she maybe does the 2-hour phone call. Was that on the 19th? Now, he just dumps this on me. I don't know if I've ever bothered reading this shit, because once again, like, who the fuck asked? 5 a.m. So this is just before I wake up. Here's what I've gathered based on observations about the current situation and similar past situations. Any statements and phrases either of you make on your own can and will easily be taken the wrong way, even when well-intentioned. The nature of the situation here is third parties will run with whatever their own interpretation leads them to believe, and this gets spread around and presented to both of you. Their intentions aren't relevant, and it's their effect. Both of you are going to be perceived as engaging in behavior that the other views negatively, regardless of who is wrong or right. I'm getting so frustrated. The third parties amplify, and this discontent will simultaneously encouraging said behavior. This is just creating a vicious cycle that leads to both of you suffering consequences. Really? What are the consequences? Fucking Ria, she just leaves. This current trajectory, and I get paid, this current trajectory of this, as it blows up in justicles, a gen chat, mods get involved, things get starboarded, things get saved, people get banned, etc. This is a lose-lose situation. You're both clearly hurt by what's happened between the two of you. I'd recommend not publicizing any logs or talking about each other publicly, give it a few days rest, and then decide how to move on from this. Just to be clear, bro, I didn't fucking ask. This involves me more than you. I know exactly all of these facts. Who the fuck doesn't? This is super clear. I don't need to hear it again. I don't need to have every question or movement that I'm done judged and picked apart by every single fucking stranger. Okay, buddy? We aren't friends. Fuck off, dude. I'm gonna win, is what I reply. Not only is this, he knows that she will never stop. He knows that I haven't gone in, so he's already telling me that I need to do something that I'm already doing. He knows that I just had a 5-hour conversation with him a few days ago where I talked about not talking about it. He knows that off the back of that conversation, someone lied about that conversation and included a 2-minute... We mentioned Ninu for like not even a minute, and someone lied about it to go back to Ria. And it was him. And he still has not proven that anyone else did it. Despite leaking shit about Ria, despite leaking shit about Richard, despite leaking shit about me, despite saying that he's a victim and he's bullied and he's fucked over. Unbelievable, bro. What a retard, man. Now, I'm like, all right, well, I said I would send you some more stuff, so I send him, like, proof of her initiating e-sex with me. This is super relevant to the current situation, because within days, he went on to tell people that he was the guy with the inside information, and that nobody had more information than him, and that I never had any relationship with her at all whatsoever, and I was a complete loser. He said this directly after Ria had admitted in VC, because Android oppressed her, that Ria did have a relationship with me where she was sending mixed signals. I would guess that me sending some more Harvard instances would be useful, right? Like, you got some date on that. It is a pretty early April, and she's DMing me right now. I was super surprised that she DM'd me right now. So this is at 6:35 a.m., and what had happened here is I had woken up at 6:17 a.m. and messaged him, I'm going to win, and then I messaged in Justicle's gen chat, and Ria saw it, and it turns out she had been messaging two-faced, double-handed things about me for about 3 hours, and then as soon as she saw me say something, she just bit on it really hard, and I'm guessing Psyclone knew all of this, probably, because then he was in a call. I'm like, oh my god, she's DMing me. And then she's like, let's talk. I walk away from my computer and I come back and I'm getting a phone call from her, and I join the phone call, and then I go dry myself off because I just got out of the shower, and I'm like, sorry, I can't hear you guys. I just turned my computer on. My sound is not set up. 15 minutes later, I come back. Psyclone's in that call. The same guy who wanted to build the bridge. That call is just her screaming at me and calling me a fucking cunt, and well, I call her a cunt, and because I'm really hurt. I'm really, really hurt. And the second I got hurt and lost my temper, I just left the call and did not go back. And I messaged, I didn't message Psyclone because I already realized he was fucked. Later on that day, I just received DMs from 5 or 6 different people saying, hey, Psyclone is a huge snake. Psyclone is like being out of control right now about you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the YouTube video, and give it a like, a subscribe, and a thumbs up, and follow me on Kick. Thank you. Dude, should I include her e-sexting me? I think I need to. Could we just make it like a full timeline thing? Yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking go. Let's just start right at the back at the beginning. You know what? I'm just gonna start scrolling through the DMs. You know what I would love? If she would redact all her shit right now. And I'll be like, oh no, wait, I have a copy. Get fucked. I wonder how pissed off people will get if I use like my other copy, because it'll be way easier for me to navigate than navigating through Discord. Crazy how the number of chatters came up. If you guys want to see me talk on it, you can like rewind to the beginning of the stream, and I sort of just riff about the whole issue for like an hour or two. And now I'm, deciding to just put out like a little document and then get over it. Where the fuck did I save a copy of it or whatever? If only I was the person who they thought I was, who catalogued everything everyone did, I would remember where I put this. Fuck, dude. Undoubtedly Ptolemy, Psyclone. Fuck! I'm sorry, Ptolemy. Undoubtedly Psyclone DM'd her straight away being like, oh, he's counter-nuking, Because I suddenly got like 10 more viewers, right? And that'd be other people who are obsessed with me. This is actually the music I listen to while I masturbate to my own imagination. Right, give me until the end of the song, and I'll be right back. We got it. Here it is. Here it is, stream. I found it. Here it is, look at it. It's everything's chat. Wait, I can just show this on stream real fast. This is 8,000 messages. Now, if anyone thinks that I faked any of this, it is impossible that I spent however long it would take to type up 8,000 messages while like coding a web page and learning how to fictionally create her entire personality. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm overthinking a little bit how much retards and like people who are like really bad faith and disingenuous want to capture everything I've said, even though I've said nothing on the issue and have been like completely private about it. The issue has become like not what I have done, but what they want to make it look like I have done. What they want to make it look like I am doing. So there's no real accusation. There's no real, oh, Crisp sexually harassed me. How? Well, he told me that, I felt pressured. He made me say that I love him. Okay, dude. So that's really cringe, and then there's a lot of really cringe people who are still somehow agreeing with that, and that's really, really sad for them. A lot of pity in my heart for that kind of stuff, kind of to a level, and it's disgusting. I still have the base human level of like absolute disgust, and I know that they have that for themselves, and I find myself disgusting all the time too, It keeps me grounded. And what was I gonna say? No. Done. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I was saying that people want to interpret I was just saying I haven't said anything publicly or done anything, and she's been very reactive to the nothing that I'm doing, which is really, really crazy. To the point where, eventually I just begged her to stop making a fool of herself. Yeah. I'm just here to prove we're not the same person once and for all. Oh, Psyclone's here. Hold on, I still can't hear you. My music's still really loud. I didn't have coffee this morning. I probably need to up my ADHD intake. Hydrate.
my music's down. Follow me, I've never heard you speak. Do you ever speak? No, at least not. I do speak, that's bad. I still can't really hear you. Someone's just playing Minecraft soundtracks. It's awesome though. I don't mean to laugh at. Sorry, sometimes I just snort and laugh like at my chat. Like I'm actually like just a cunt. Song. Wolfenstein. What's like that super famous platforming game about like vampires and shit? Castlevania. Dude, streaming is like being a radio host, except you're all by yourself and you have to manage like 15 things at once. I'm like terribly struggling not to like leak fucking private information right now. But we're doing it. It's working out totally fine. Alright, can one of you guys speak for me so I can get a sound test as well?
Hello.
That's kind of okay. I think I need to turn my bass Discord volume up.
Yeah, my mic is just notoriously quiet as well.
Now my output volume is at 70%. At 100 now, speak again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, you are very quiet. I'll turn you up
Is
to
that a bit better?
160. Yeah, that is a little bit better. You're clearer now, and I turned you up to 160%. And I can also turn your user volume up to 160%. Alright, what's up?
I just wanted to like clear the air a bit. So like, I went like super hard in the VC the other night. Yeah, fair enough. I said some
Did you?
irresponsible shit. Yeah.
Why?
You weren't you there?
No?
Oh. Okay. Well, I think it's like recorded or something. I don't fucking know. But like,
It would be awesome if it was. Was there a... I was a bit confused if there was an oiler call with her. Because I assume all of the oiler calls are recorded. So mine definitely was.
She wasn't in the oiler call, no.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if she's an oiler. Because I did an oiler call. I was like, maybe she did an oiler call. But I know that Justcall did sit on her 2-hour reading, or however long it was. I wasn't even home. It was still going on when I came home, and I sent her a DM, and then she was all like smug about me DMing her. What a retarded maneuver. Yeah, you did go really hard on me, Psyclone, didn't you? And you were also like in her DMs the entire time, right? So
not in the way that
crazy.
you think.
Well, how do you think
Like
your involvement caused her to react?
If anything, I think it tempered it a bit. I was
Really?
very
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I wasn't like, I never went to her inner DMs and I was like, oh, Crisp said this about you. Oh, look at Crisp saying this. That never happened. I didn't do
Was
this
she
to
not
other people
suspicious that you
either.
were in her DMs then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we'd been hanging out on like your Discord and stuff in this time. So I was like friends with you, Ria, Full of Hell, you know.
Well, me and you haven't really had any kind of relationship or conversation, and you told me that you had an agreement with Ria that you two would flirt together, but you wouldn't ever catch feelings, which I thought was like super funny, because that's like the agreement Taxi has with her, and like other men who are like really weird with her, and it's specifically not the agreement that I have with her. You know, because
sure?
I think that's unrealistic and cringe. Yeah. Yeah, I
Sure.
think you're all fucking pathetic, and the reason that she was like into me is because I would just be like very honest, like, you know I want to fuck you, right? Why the fuck would I flirt with a random e-girl on the internet? I'm not interested in flirting with an e-girl on the internet because like it's weird. So I'm not gonna like be like set up a boundary like that, right? That's a weird one. That's, you know, the kind of attention seeking that a girl does who wants to be constantly chased by like 40, 50 different men, and that's why she was chasing me while you were chasing her. Do you understand?
I'm not chasing her, but sure, yeah.
well, you just told me that you and her had like a friendship and a relationship and yada yada yada, and you kind of thought that like me and you had me and her, and you thought me and you had a similar me and you had a relationship. We don't. We're not really the same. So like I don't know where your relationship ideas of me and you came from, and I don't even know if you can like totally conceive of the kind of relationship me and her had. I think you probably just assume that me and her were similar. You probably assume that me and her were like me and you. And I think a lot of people do that. They sort of project into the world like this and that. And yeah, maybe if you acted the way I acted, you would fuck up, and because you can't even conceive of it. Do you know what I'm saying? You would fuck up if you tried to be me, is what you think. And so then you think I fucked up. But you're just a fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't even imagine. Good luck, though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Interesting conclusion.
You've been just telling people that I'm a fucking schizo going hard on me, right? What do you want me to say, dude? You can't. When you hear me speak, you think that I don't make any sense and cannot understand and come to terms with reality, right?
No, I specifically said you were a schizo because you told her the hard
right? Is that not exactly what that means when you say that that's what you think, Psyclone? You think that when I talk, the words that come out my mouth are irrational and make no sense and are not grounded in reality. Therefore, you do not have the ability to see that what I am saying is connected to reality, right?
Does this feel like a conversation to you right now? Or you just...
It feels like I'm pushing you, you know?
You're not pushing me on anything. You're just saying random shit.
So, in conclusion to what I was saying, I didn't... he's given a response. Wonderful. In conclusion, the way that I am talking to him, which he does not understand, chat, is that why would I engage in any way with someone who cannot see my reality at all? A drug addict, a drunk, someone like perverted, someone who cannot understand the way I would have a relationship and yet wants to become involved in them. Someone who thought that me and them had a relationship. I don't have a relationship with you, Psyclone. You were just kind of up in my business, and I'm just pretty open with my business. I didn't tell you any big secrets. I just had to let people know my own private information. You weird freak.
I never claimed that me and you were like super close.
You literally just said it in this conversation that me and you had a relationship, and all I did was clarify that I have never really had any conversation with you before, except when Ria, shut the fuck up, except when Ria was following me around, and then you would follow her around. Okay? That is the only other thing I ever remember about you is you being drunk and on opiates in Discord, and then lying about it, and you had no memory of it happening. So you told us that you went to the pub, but really, you must have gone to the pub and maybe taken 30 seconds to walk there, gotten absolutely hammered in 3 minutes, and then walked back. Because I don't know how you fucking managed to pull that one off. But you wouldn't know either, because you have no memory of it. And I don't think you have any ability to like coherently talk about like me and my personal issues. But you have, and you've been involved, and then you've gotten drunk and maybe on drugs the other night, and you have gone totally against everything you have told me. I got 6 or 7 DMs from 6 or 7 different people, just very clearly saying, like, obvious rat snake. I got DMs from you trying to tell me that Hydrocell Richard was a rat snake who had been disingenuous.
I did not say
leaking shit to Ria. That is exactly the
maneuver
you want me to pull up the DM?
Do you want me to pull up the DM?
Sure, bro. Yes. Go ahead. Kill yourself with your own DMs.
Oh, I specifically said, I don't know if it's intentional, / malicious, etc., but this is what's happening. What else did I say?
I'm just going to turn your volume down until you post the DM inside chat. Just post the DM, bro. You could have just told me that it was you, right? Instead, you worked through the list of everyone who was in that call, and then at Hydrocell Richard, you were like, he was sending Ria DMs, disingenuous DMs. He's probably editing it right now. Luckily, I have software to prevent him from not, changing it up.
Why would I edit it?
Because it 100% shows you saying that Richard was disingenuously trying to make me look bad by messaging Ria. And then I was like, how do you know? And you were like, oh, because I was also messaging Ria. And I was like, what a retard. You've even come into this phone call and just told me that you were just talking to her throughout it. And, when you were talking to her that night, it immediately caused problems. She immediately was focused on the wrong things and the wrong ideas. And when I talked to Richard about this, well, his response was a lot different from your response. And if you didn't notice, Richard isn't in JustxRia's Discord right now because he isn't so happy with, the way people like you act. But that's, really disappointing. As far as, being a moderator goes, someone who has, responsibility, like a friend to Ria, that you claim to be, you should feel like you should feel bad. You should feel bad that you let people down. I get that you might be angry at me for this or for that, and you want to call me a liar, and I don't think it matters if I lied about anything in my life at this point. I think the facts of what you have done are something that you're going to have to deal with. Yeah, you don't care at all. Because you're a drug addict and you just think I'm a schizo.
I'm a drug addict, true. That one time I blacked out, true. Yeah, drug addict.
It's not about you being a drug addict, bro. It's just the way you treat yourself and your body.
Oh, it is. You keep bringing it up. You keep bringing it up.
I feel like it's an effective way to communicate to people the way that you respect yourself and the world and your body. And
you just ad hom until you just keep ad homing until you get your point across. That's weird, bro. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, sure. Is it not an ad hom for you to tell me I'm ad homing? You're an ad homer. You ad hom. Okay.
Yeah, I put in the side chat for you. I'm gonna take a nice look at it.
Okay, what did you post?
You can compare it. You can compare it to your own. See it's not edited.
But it's just for everyone else. Yeah, it's not Richard. He was giving a bad face interpretation, and that was really, really bad, right? That immediately made Ria freak the fuck out and do a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, terrible maneuver from you. A guy who said that, you were totally impartial, just there to observe. Those were weird things to say. And then, immediately take a very strong side. As well as, be messaging her live as opposed to listening to me. And then, saying weird things about her as you got drunker throughout the conversation with. So Psyclone was in a conversation with us for hours and hours, guys, and by the end of it, he was very quiet, but when he did speak, he slurred very heavily and very strangely just talked about how me and Ria have this amazing fucking connection as well, where we agree not to flirt, or not to fall in love, but we flirt. And I'm like, that is a strange thing to say at the end of the night. Goodbye, though. Goodbye, man who just listens to my personal life stories for 4 hours. Why would you be bothered to listen to my fucking personal life story for 4 hours, Psyclone? Why do you care to spend your life listening to a stranger's problems on the internet? Very strange, bro. You're very weird. I hope you get help. Also, you're a drug addict, and if anything,
sure.
You could just directly deal with that. Today is day 2,
right
chat, where I have no nicotine. DZ, remember when I ran out of nicotine that time? I was smoking up to 100 to 200 cigarettes worth of nicotine every single day, and now we are down to a 0 nicotine vape. I have a funny emotion where I'm gonna be like sad when I run out of juice, and then I remember like, oh, I don't need to have that thought because there's no nicotine in here anyway. So we've got some other like behavioral things. I might buy some gum because it's like, this is like, it's like, oh shit, it's like got weight to it, it's got flavor, it's got good smell, and I kind of want to replace like all of those things. Yeah, it'll be funny like maneuvering over to that sort of lifestyle choice. Are you pissed off that you can't mute or like kick me, Psyclone? Because you're like a mod and you probably feel like you have like power and like you're a big dog, and like when new people come in, you're like, hey, I'm a moderator. People here respect me. Is it weird that you are just a...
What are you talking about, bro?
Well, I don't know what it's like to be a moderator. This is what I think of moderators.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like how humble of a mod do you think you are?
It's irrelevant, isn't it?
I'm just interested. It doesn't need to be relevant to anything. I'm just trying to live my life, bro. Jesus Christ. Chill the fuck out, dog. You're crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm really crashing out right now.
Just try to have a good day, bro. Just try it.
Yeah, you too. I mean, I just tried to.
Chill. Whoa! Whoa!
And yeah, I don't know. You don't know what I said to people. You can like, you have this idea that you're running with. Like that's fair. Like, yeah.
Yeah, just stop sulking. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I'm not sulking, bro.
Man, that's the first time I've ever heard you laugh. That's crazy. I thought you guys were north. We're into Snus. What is Snus? Oh shit, Rhinox is a mod? Hell yeah. Welcome in, Rhinox. Welcome in, DJ Dinky. Welcome in, follow me. Quitting nicotine fucking sucks. It does fucking suck. I'm over it though. Like, quitting cigarettes I've done it like a couple of times and I just did it pretty aggressively, but it would take me like a day or two of feeling real shit. And then I was real nervous because I was smoking 100 to 200 cigarettes a day. And there were a couple of days throughout that year, I mean fairly often, like fucking every month, there would be like a few days of the month where I wouldn't get any nicotine, dude. And that shit sucked ass. Where are my 120 cigarettes? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I saw Zizi gave us a shout out. Thank you so much, Zizi. Appreciate the timeout. How did your mod decisions go today, Zizi? Was that good? Dude, thank you guys for coming in here. Exclamation mark song or quest. Get fucked, Zizi. Rhinox's very first mod decision is just a timeout's easy. I don't know how to untimeout's easy. Timeout, timeout, unban, unmod, I don't know if I can say that. Oh, un-OG. Okay, un-OG. Timeout, sub-only, multi. I don't know if there's an un-timeout button. Re-timeout? Ria timeout? Oh my god, everything reminds me of her. Welcome in, Yaz Queen. Yaz, how did you feel about it? I always love your takes. I tried, Zizi. For the whole time you were gone, I missed you every second, and I attempted to get you back. It was like a movie. So yeah, I'm thinking about just, instead of using Discord, I'm just going to use the JSON directory thingy majiggy that like links to like emojis and stuff. It must be saved in my computer somewhere else or something, or are they in like the metadata of the file itself? I don't know how it works. It's a cool thing though. And then if people get like annoyed, like this could all be fake, I'll be like, well, like just ask and I'll send you like a version of parts of it that are, you know, direct screenshots, but like honestly, I don't really care about like people having like rumors or like shenanigans like, oh, we're trying to find any reason that this is blah, 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 blah. Yeah, shut the fuck up, dude. About me and my problems, but equally it should be like pretty nice to finally speak on this publicly. You know, although Psyclone has already pretended to speak on it publicly for me. Very weird stuff going on there. I feel like you were the only person, Psyclone, who like really started taking my private matters and leaking them apart from Ria. It was just you and Ria were the two people doing it. So that was weird. I hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you, Yaz Queen. That's good to hear. It does really like reassure me when people come in and do that, like getting subscriptions. Hey, Dan. I thought you might have some takes.
Yeah. So, just to
Katie
add to
Potatoes
the
messaging
Psyclone
me
thing,
really aggressively. Katie Potato says, I do not condone doxing ever. Well, I think, Katie, the people who you hang out with do dox people, and it just makes you look weird. And, you know, I don't think you're like a very nice person to talk to, and I ended our friendship pretty officially a few nights ago. And I'm probably not going to read all of that. It's scary to me that you have judgments. I'm going to read the part that are in capital. It is scary to me that you have judgments, critiques, and hard feelings, and you go on stream to talk about it. Yeah, okay. Thank you for telling me about all of your problems. Goodbye. Go away. Sorry.
right?
Dunk,
So, Chris,
you.
on the
Yeah.
it's fucked up. You fucking
Yeah.
loser. I'd say worse things, but I actually don't know what you're streaming on, and I don't want to violate the terms of service. But yeah, on the thing of Psyclone trying to broadcast your shit, at the end of that giant fucking freak stream where Ria had been, you know, trying to post little snippets of your DMs, he basically announced to everyone, like, hey, I've been there for, like, all this stuff, I've talked to both of these people, so if you need any of these, like, secret little details, just direct your questions at me, send DMs even.
Yeah, that's why Ptolemy is here, actually, because I asked, well, that's not why Ptolemy is here, but it's very relevant. Because I talked to Ptolemy about it, and he was like, oh, I didn't really like talk to him and don't really care. And I was like, okay, good to hear. And yeah, but it did seem like he had specifically been telling people to, you know, gossip about it behind the scenes. So this is kind of why I like ask, like, as a moderator and as like probably someone who likes to feel like you can have like the inside info and be like, ooh, I'm the man, I'm doing the thing. And like, if you're doing that for everyone, you must be trying to feel that way, especially for the girl, right? Cringe, bro. Pathetic. Kinda weird. Kinda way worse than being called a drug addict, but that's the thing that you're like, about. I don't know how you internalize,
Well, it's also that he was joining in on the narrativizing of the, like, Chris Blatters is a schizo who had no reason to ever feel like he should have ever had a meaningful connection to this person, because he claims to have, you know, been shown all of these things by Ria, that he's talked to her like pretty extensively. He sat in on the pretty long fucking discussion that that you had with a bunch of people that you felt you were pretty good friends with the other day, and he's come out the other side of that going, look, Chris Blatters is just hallucinating this whole thing. He has no reason that he should actually feel like he's got any meaningful connection. Right?
Right. How do you become so confident
so
like
that's a super fucking weird thing for him to come out with. Like, having been there for, like, some of the same shit that I was. Like,
right.
It's fine enough if you want to say, like, that Ria's got this weird, like, schizophrenic, line that she's drawn between, you know, doing like the romantic sexual shit and whether or not that really counts as a relationship. Okay, that's fine. You know, you can sort through that mess yourself. But then to go like, oh, so that like, because of her weird fucking line, that's surely got to mean that this guy has absolutely no cause to have ever felt like he had some sort of connection. No, like, this is the most deranged sweeping. And I'm assuming it's maybe because he's, like, an old friend of Taxi's from, like, fucking DIRL, Highlands, whatever. I don't know if he means he's doing it out of, like, a connection to Taxi, or, like, a newfound friendship with Ria, maybe. You know, fuck knows.
Yeah, fuck knows. Honestly, she said that me and her never flirted, and when she started like being forward to me sexually, I don't know when, but at there was a point where I was like, I feel really uncomfortable that she would send me these kinds of lewds and pretend like it's not a big deal, pretend like it's not trying to take advantage of my attraction for her. And I was just like, is she doing this with other guys? And then when she was like, I guess more recently, like lying so aggressively that me and her never flirted, I was like, oh, how many other guys is she maybe having sex with? And I don't have any judgment against her for doing that. E-sex. E-sex. I don't have any judgment for her for that, but her explicitly saying that she doesn't like that, unfortunately, makes me feel like, why are you so explicitly telling me this thing that I know is wrong? That's a feeling. The feeling is like, I know it's wrong. I'm not saying I actually know that she does that. It's just a very similar thing to other things, like when I'm watching her tell people I never flirted with Chris Bledis. And that'll sound crazy to like a lot of you people here, but a lot of you would have literally seen her say that over the past 2 weeks.
Right,
I never
Chris,
flirted.
I'm about to bow out of this shit, okay. But just in the side chat of the streamable here, you'll see a couple screenshots from the from whatever that big fucking discussion was, where Psyclone is basically soliciting attention to fucking, you know, leak shit in DMs.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably.
That's not what I said.
He's saying, yes, it fucking was, you drug addict loser.
What is it? So I'm gonna be like leaking DMs and making shit up, bro? Like what?
You're telling people to DM you with questions and saying that you will be forward like, with all of the things, because you actually tried to make yourself the fucking circus ringmaster at the end after the people who had been having the discussions went and finally fucked off. Then you sort of tried to steal the limelight and be like, listen everybody, I've been there for all of these discussions. You need to direct any additional questions at me, and I'll give you the true and honest answers. So, you are as big a rat-fuck snake as someone like Taxi is. Yeah, fuck, that's it. Right. Good night, Chris.
Crazy that you make this claim, but like there's no screenshots of me ever sending anything to anyone. That's crazy.
Well, this was you offering in a big fucking VC full of people.
What do you think this is me offering screenshots?
This is you offering to leak information after claiming that you have...
No, this is me offering to
like... claiming that you have special knowledge of all the things that went on, because you've been talking to all the people involved, and that you have the authoritative version of what went fucking down. And part of you telling that little story is you coming out with the totally deranged bullshit that Chris surely should not have any kind of sense of having a connection with these people, right? You saying that like, oh, Chris is just a schizophrenic. He's actually hallucinating all of this shit that he thinks he's had with Ria. And it's fine to say that, like, from her side, like, none of it's real because she's a turbo e-whore, and that's fine if that's what the defense is going to be, right? I actually don't have a problem with that.
That's literally what I believe.
That's so. Yeah,
I think
the fact that you came to us and were like very strongly saying like to us like, hey, I'm an impartial observer. Or, I've known for a Taxi a long time. This like fucking tracks here and tracks there. This is like a similar sort of feeling when I hear that, where I'm like, oh, this guy's really asserting something to me that I didn't ask for, and then later on it seems to be that he isn't acting that way, right? this guy is obviously, like Dung said, trying to solicit you're trying to get in somewhere that you think is like a valuable position close to me, and then later on you're trying to sloppily solicit out yourself as the guy, right? And what does soliciting mean? It means you're wanting to get something back for that. So you're just like a self-absorbed freak, dude.
Anyway, right. So I think Psyclone has been thoroughly raped. I wanted to contribute to that. I wanted a piece of the action. I wanted him passed around the voice chat like a piece of fuckable drunk meat. But I'm done now. I'm gonna. It's nearly 4 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed. Psyclone, you should probably do the same.
Yeah.
You drunk piece of shit. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk to you, Psyclone. I want you to go away. You don't have my consent. You can go start your own stream and go talk about it if you want, bro. Fuck off, loser.
Interesting.
I hope I've given you a lot to think about. If
You've given
anything,
me
you should maybe just
absolutely
wonder like
nothing.
why you get this kind of reaction. If you are right, just wonder where you went.
Well, I know it's just because you're on stream and it's all a performance, and you need to make yourself look as good as possible, and just put everyone else down.
Oh yeah, sorry, bro. Allow me to just shit all over myself and ruin my own life on my stream that I built. What are you, some kind of fucking retard? Fuck off, bro.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to you. I told you to leave. I told you I don't want to talk to you. You are going beyond my consent by sitting here and talking to me. I didn't ask you to come in here. I'm not begging you to say. I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, I can just turn your volume down, and now I can't hear you, and neither can anyone else.
I'm not gonna be the court documenter.
Bro. It's not the first time I've sat here with a drunk. What was his name who was dating that girl who had the glasses? She had the glasses with the thick lenses, and she had like the style. What was her name?
Oh fuck, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember really.
It was so long ago, and her boyfriend was really, really drunk all the time. And he was so drunk, he was talking about, he's like, Gal Gadot would, this person would, and and then I was like, whatever his wife's name was, but instead of saying like would, I like said it like a question, like would you bang your wife? Like, how about your wife, bro? Like, because I'm kind of not comfortable with like him just randomly being drunk and sexual about other women when I know his wife really well. I know it's their relationship, they can do whatever they want, but equally, fuck him. I'm going to judge your relationship, and I'm going to insist that you be better to your wife and make fun of you for it, for being a drunk retard. And he didn't really understand, because he didn't really infer the question mark at the end of would. So he just thought I was saying I would bang your wife. And I'm like, no, I'm asking, like, would you bang your wife? So I get why he was pissed off. And I didn't even realize he was, like, that pissed off because I had his volume turned off for, like, 3 days. And for 3 days, he sat in BCs with me yelling for, like, for hours and hours and hours and hours. Micromonix was, like, really cute. Micromonix came in and just encouraged him to drink water for, like, 4 or 5 hours. That was like really nice.
I haven't seen Micro in so long, really.
Yeah, he pops into my stream and into Crispy Cord sometimes. Because he doesn't like how people, like... I mean, I shouldn't shit on... He just doesn't want to hang out in the Justical Cord. It's just a little bit too stressful.
That's fair.
And, yeah. And Crispy Cord, we just have like some silly little boys who have like a silly little time. What's worse, dealing with Ria and her freaks or Peach? Oh, I'm stun locked. I have thought about it, Pickle. You know what the funny thing that happened was? Let me find it. There's actually a really good throwback to something where I'm like, oh my god, dude. I should have known.